Speaking of Sports Center, SC with Jay and Dan with the lovely Jennifer Hedger coming up. Steve Ballmer kind of stole the show, didn't he?
He did. I mean, I guess it's good to be excited, but that was a little over the top, wasn't it? You said it best. He was like an alarm clock.
He was.
Get up!
Get up! Just imagine waking up to that. You'll never go to work ever again.
No sleeping in with that alarm clock.
Yeah.
No.
Pfeiffer. Good people.
Pfeiffer, that's not how you say your last name, though, right? It's
No,
Pfeffer?
Pfeffer, yeah.
Pfeffer, yes.
What, really? I've been saying Pfeiffer this whole time and it's Pfeffer?
It sure is. 17 years we've known Ellen. And this is the night that Jay Onright realizes her last name is pronounced Pfeffer.
What? Is that that's not a normal, common last name.
What a pampered poodle. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Big night tonight for Marcus Stroman, making his 129th career start as a Toronto Blue Jay. Possibly his last start as a Blue Jay. Probably his last start in Toronto.
We've been saying this his last couple of starts, that this could be his last start, and then this could be his last start. But this really could be his last start. And if that was the case, it was a pretty impressive one. July the 31st, just 7 days away, the trade deadline. As Jen mentioned, his final home start before the deadline. Stroman holding the 6th best ERA among starters in franchise history, dealing top one. Oscar Mercado gone, 3rd inning. Get some help. Danny Jansen catching Greg Allen, stealing 2nd. The old strike him out, throw him out. Stroman's 3rd strikeout. He was fired up. Yeah! Next batter, Stroman gets Francisco Lindor. He'll skip off the mound. This one was zeros after 3 in the 4th. The defense continuing to show up for Stroman and showing support for what has been really a terrific season for him. Carlos Santana taking the cuts, lifts it to left. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., yes. Possibly a bit of a TV slide. He was just making sure he didn't hit that wall. Didn't want to hit that wall. And Stroman's showing the love. Now, despite how great Stroman's been, the bats have not come through for him at home. Just 3 runs of support in his last 3 home starts. And the lack of offense continues to hurt the Jays. No runs in the 5th. Kevin Plawecki sends one to left, runner on first. Allen flying around the base paths and opens the scoring. Just beats the throw. 6th inning. Stroman facing Mercado. 2017 American League Gold Glove winner. Makes it look easy on the comebacker.
That's not going to happen a 3rd time.
A swagger, too. 6 Ks over 7, leaving in line for the loss, and
the Blue Jays will get
letting the home crowd know exactly how he feels. Jays lose this one 4-0 was the final. Here's Stroman on a salute to the crowd.
I said this is my house. Yeah, because it is. Just thought it could be my last outing here. I've always been emotional. I feel like I've had a pretty good 10 years as a Blue Jay. Hopefully this will be my 3rd inning, throwing 200 innings or more. I feel like I've pitched pretty well in the best division in baseball. You know what I mean? There's been no willingness from the front office to sign me, so I've just kind of come to terms with it, and I'm ready to dominate, wherever that may be. Absolutely dominate.
With a few of the things that have gone on with Rust and a few of the other guys, Ross has said that he likes to keep in touch with agents, players, and let people know what's going on. Have you heard anything over the last week?
No comment.
When you reflect on the last 8 seasons in this organization, what are you most proud of?
Obviously, 15 and 16 were whirlwind years, and those are kind of the moments that will always hit home. Obviously, I pitched Game 5, and I pitched the wild card game. So 2 Bautista's homer and Eddie's homer. So those are kind of the 2 scenes that kind of will always have a lasting effect on my memory for sure. Just that how loud it was in those moments and how crazy the fans were. I'll definitely always be thankful for those times. Since 2012, I've been drafted, you know what I mean? I came in here not knowing what I was getting into and kind of tiptoeing around being a Blue Jay, and I've loved every second of it. And it's definitely huge thanks to the fans from country, I mean across the entire country, whether it be I was playing in Seattle, I was playing in Cleveland, I was playing in Minnesota. It's unbelievable. So I'm very thankful that I've been a Blue Jay for this long, and I think it was a perfect place to start my career. And like I said, I'm just trying to take it day by day, and whatever happens, happens.
Among his 6 seasons in the big leagues, this is Stroman's best in terms of ERA, with the exception of 2015. He only pitched 27 innings in that year. And his ERA, which is now 2.96, tied for 3rd best in the American League behind only Charlie Morton and Justin Verlander.
In as wild a regular season affair as you could possibly watch. Kepler line drive in the air to left center. Hicks on the run, dives, and he made the catch! He made the play! Oh my goodness, what a catch from Aaron Hicks to end it! Sensational, leaping, lunging grab, and a fitting finish to an unforgettable night.
A 5-hour thriller Tuesday night in Minnie. Watching the Yankees and Twins was kind of like watching a heavyweight bout. The offense would land a punch, and then the pitcher would counter. 5 lead changes, 26 runs, and 4 blown saves. The Yankees and Twins, what would they have for an encore presentation? Well, we'll show you. It was a 35-hit instant classic on Tuesday. Along with the game-saving catch, Aaron Hicks also homered on Tuesday. Already 4-3 New York in the 3rd in this one. Hicks with a no-doubter. And now it's 12 on the season. This fan, too, giving the ball to a young Yanks fan, as you do when you catch a foul ball. You give it to a kid. It's 5-3. The runs keep piling up. Gleyber Torres. Hey, Gleyber. He drives one out to left center. 20 home runs now for Torres this season, and it is 6-3 New York. Didi Gregorius 5 for 5 with 7 ribbies Tuesday. 4th inning, up with 2 on. Ropes one to the gap, and that'll play a couple runs. Gregorius had 3 RBI. Finished a home run shy of the cycle. It's 9-3 Yankees, top of 9. Edwin Encarnacion's up to bat. It's a 9-7 game, 2-0 count. Edwin fouls it off his leg, and that's sore. He was able to limp things off. He did stay in the ball game, but that's going to leave a mark. He's got a 2-2 count now. Edwin shakes it off, drives one out of the yard. Take that parrot for a walk. He would limp around the base paths. Encarnacion hits number 30 this season, gets greeted in the dugout with the parrot. Missed the parrot. Yankees take another high-scoring affair, 10-7 final.
And a couple of other AL East teams in action. Red Sox Rays, top 8, left-handed pitcher Adam Kolarek in for the Rays, facing Sam Travis. Pops out. After that, Rays manager Kevin Cash makes a pitching change. Cash brings in Chaz Rowe to pitch and moves the pitcher Kolarek to first. Now, this happens at 2:38 Eastern. Next batter's Mookie Betts, flies out to left. Now, immediately after that, Cash, the Rays manager, comes back out to make another change. He wants Kolarek back on the mound. But Red Sox manager Alex Cora wants some clarification. Has a word with umpire Angel Hernandez. The confusion was sparked by the fact that Cash never indicated where Kolarek would bat in the lineup after he moved to first base. So around 2:49 Eastern, Hernandez and the umps get on the headset with the command center in New York. The inning was delayed for 15 minutes. Really entertaining stuff at the Trop. Cora ultimately opted to play the game under protest. Finally, at 2:54 Eastern, Rafael Devers grounds out to end the half inning.
And he swings immediately, hits a little ground ball.
And there was a smattering of applause about that. Cora explained it afterward.
It was a mess at one point, you know, like I wasn't even able to like keep up with Angel. They had a pitcher on the mound, and they still had a DH. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. You know, I'm sorry I can't like go over it because there's a lot. So it just, you know, illegal substitution. So we'll see what happens.
In the end, the Rays won the game 3-2.
Coming up, Kawhi Leonard introduced by the Clippers on Wednesday. Find out what he said about his time with the Raptors.
And every time he has the same
look, like, get the camera off. I know I keep screwing up.
I know you're looking at me.
Brutal.
Speaking of cameras, Ellen Pfeffer killing it on camera. The jib over there.
The jib.
Thank you, Ellen Pfeffer and cameraman Glenn.
17 years of calling her the wrong name. That is a Asian woman.
Tough one. Yikes.
New Clippers, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were introduced in Los Angeles on Wednesday, but before looking forward, Kawhi took some time for a couple of thank yous.
Just before I get started on the Clippers, you know, I want to thank the Toronto Raptor fans. You know, I don't have social media, so I'm not able to put out, you know, paragraph or whatever, but, like I was gonna say, just thank all Toronto, the city, the country. You know, it was a great, amazing season, best parade ever. Thanks to the doctors for, you know, delivering my baby boy. He's 3 months now, still healthy. I also would just want to, you know, thank the city as far as the restaurants, you know, giving up that Kawhi and dine throughout the playoffs. Took advantage of that. You know, the players, they already know what's up. You know, text, FaceTime me, we'll talk. Coaching staff as well. And the whole organization, really. Just thank the whole city. Thank you.
During the media conference, Kawhi was also asked about why he and his camp wanted so much secrecy during his free agency process.
A lot of things are made up now in today's world of the NBA. You could, you know, start a website or blog and, you know, push that out and say Kawhi's doing this, Kawhi's doing that. But it's always important to me to, you know, have a mutual understanding between everyone and just be transparent if it's good or bad. And, you know, I feel like that builds a great relationship. You know, once we had our meeting, I felt like they were true to their word. Nothing really got out. And, you know, it was a great decision, like I said.
As difficult as it was for Toronto Raptors fans to watch Kawhi Leonard be introduced in LA, I think he said all the right things. He said his thank yous. I think it's kind of interesting that he had a baby boy the same time Fred VanVleet did. Everybody talked about Fred's kid.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about Kawhi's.
It was quiet.
You know, the privacy thing and the whole Kawhi and Dine. I mean, it was kind of cool that he even mentioned it. He was cognizant of these things going on around him without him actually, I guess, talking about it all the time.
I do remember the time when his son was born thinking, well, his son's a Canadian citizen. That's pretty cool.
That's
like,
cool,
maybe he'll want to stay now, you know, but obviously
No,
that was
that didn't
totally
happen.
off. No, that was not going to happen. But no, I think you're right, Jen. I mean, you pointed this out earlier. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, he really says a lot of great things. He was very funny there. I want him to speak more.
Whenever he talks, I feel like I like him more.
Exactly.
And when he doesn't talk and you hear all the rumors, I like him less. I get angry because I think there's these machinations going on, but then he actually speaks and you go, no, he's a straight up dude. He's
and
a
all of the
professional
rumors
basketball player.
going in, you know, as we found out, all the rumors that had, you know, the Clippers out of it and the Lakers were going to get, you know, obviously they were all wrong anyway. Nobody really knew what he was thinking anyway. And so that's a good lesson, I think, for everybody, probably.
Lesson learned. With all the excitement surrounding the arrival of George and Leonard, it would only be fitting to hear from Clippers' eccentric owner and excitable Steve Ballmer.
I'm pumped to say hello as Clippers to Paul and Kawhi. Come on! Come on! Come on! Get up! Come on, get up! If you're psyched as I am, get up! I have these notes, but I gotta say I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool, pretty damn cool. Woo! Kawhi said something when they won the championship this year about the Larry O.B. The only thing that matters is the Larry O.B. When I first got here, I think I called it the Lawrence O'Brien. But from now on, it's all about the Larry O.B.
I love him.
Who was that character that Chris Farley used to play on SNL?
Right.
When he's all fired up all the time?
The motivational speaker.
Yes, yes, that is
right.
Steve Ballmer.
Yeah.
When I see him, I think last year Kawhi signing with the Raptors and like Larry Tannenbaum, who's just a distinguished gentleman, right? Like not very excitable. And now he's got Stevie.
Matt Foley, I think, was Chris Farley's
Is that the character?
character's
Okay.
name. And I remember he lived in a van down by the river. That's the only difference. Ballmer has $20 billion in the bank.
Yeah, Ballmer owns the river.
Yeah, it's just amazing. You know, again, the Clippers organization is so streamlined. Ballmer's in charge. He's got the money. Doc Rivers makes all the personnel decisions and coaches. And for Kawhi, I just think that was super appealing as opposed to the Lakers. Clearly wanted to go back home. It was going to be one of those two teams. And the Lakers are such a circus sideshow. That whole front office is a disaster.
It's funny, though, when you just see Ballmer and you're like, he's not the circus sideshow.
I know, right?
That's just your grassroots.
That's your stable guy.
Yeah, that's the stable franchise.
That's your stable guy. Yeah, he's got an interesting management style. Fred VanVleet, meanwhile, spoke to reporters at a Raptors youth basketball camp. He says he is finally ready to move on without his old buddy, Kawhi Leonard.
We don't talk to guys really about the free agency. We won a championship. We had a good time. And then, you know, you leave him to do what he has to do. And you respect and appreciate, you know, what he gave to us. And then from there on, if he would have chosen to come back, cool. If not, we move forward. And, you know, we're back to work, and we're looking forward to next year. So I think the story came out that he texted us before the news broke on the internet. And so that was good enough for us.
Do you think there was a possibility he would stay?
Yeah, it's possible anything could have happened. You know, I don't know. There's endless possibilities. I think that, you know, I think he enjoyed his time here. I think that we won a championship. I think that it probably was a tough decision, but again, we don't know. Those would be questions that you have to ask Kawhi. And for us, like I said before, it's time to move on.
Can you believe he's still rocking that shiner?
That's the thing we were shocked about. That he really got clocked.
That's quite a bruise.
That's a crazy shiner. That's lasted a long time.
ESPN releasing the results of their annual poll of league executives, coaches, and scouts about the upcoming season. And looky here, Kawhi Leonard chosen by 12 of 20 as the best player of the league, and the Clippers were chosen by 13 of 20 as next year's champs.
No Durant, no LeBron.
No.
Wow.
That changes everything.
That is crazy, right? To think about that.
It's going to be an interesting season. There's been a real balance, and I think balance is the word, because I think there's some teams out there now that people didn't think about that have a shot at this.
And I think if the Lakers had gotten Kawhi,
then it would have been
like, oh man, this is another Warriors super team that no one will be able to touch. And now it's like kind of interesting. You know, the Rockets have a couple of superstars, the Lakers have a couple of superstars, the Clippers have a couple of superstars, the Raptors are still good, the Bucks are good.
Philly's still good.
Philly's really good.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of wide open. It's pretty exciting.
Following an unprecedented wave of player movement within the last month, the NBA is opening an investigation into potential tampering. Concerns were raised by some league owners at the annual Board of Governors meeting about the deals that were made just minutes after free agency opened on June 30th. Now, the investigation expected to include interviews with players and possibly agents and team employees. Guess what? It's happening. They don't have to, look and see if there is tampering going on.
Oh, yeah,
there is. Not the exploration, the investigation doesn't need to happen. It's happening. It's just whether they can do anything about it, and the answer is probably no.
I just don't know how you investigate this. You know, you're talking about players. You know, it goes back to LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh teaming up with the Heat. You think that just happened in 24 hours? No, that was obviously they had conversations for a long time.
Bug the cell phones.
Yeah.
Let's get some transcripts.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Could you imagine?
Oh, watch your cell phones. Yeah, what are they really going to do? They have no legal,
there's no legal recourse. Not the Mueller investigation.
I don't know. I don't see how this is possibly going to change. And I just don't understand how they're going to possibly investigate it. Though Warriors coach Steve Kerr was on the Warriors Insider podcast Wednesday, Jen, and he was critical of the way Anthony Davis forced his way out of New Orleans.
To me, when you sign on that dotted line, you owe your effort and your play to that team, to that city, to the fans. And then it's completely your right to leave as a free agent. But if you sign the contract, then you should be bound to that contract. Yeah, if you come to an agreement with the team that, hey, it's probably best, it's time for us to part ways, that's one thing. But, you know, the Davis stuff was really kind of groundbreaking, I think, and hopefully not a trend because it's bad for the league.
But again,
how are you going to do that?
How are you going to do that? And I understand what he's saying. The only people I feel bad for are the fans, and especially the young fans. Like that little boy, that Thunder fan, when Paul George left and Russell Westbrook got traded, and he's asking his dad, "Are we ever going to have any good players again?" And you're like, "Oh God, I feel so bad for this."
Maybe when you're in high school. Maybe when you're in high school, we'll get them back.
We're rebuilding.
Well, and the thing is, it goes across all sports. It happens in the NHL as well. When guys don't want to play for the team or they have a personal issue, but keep it in house because as soon as it becomes public, that's when the team is at a disadvantage and you can't get them traded out. And that's where I think things went wrong.
It's great that it's worked out for him. Speaking of character guys, Phil Kessel.
Awesome.
As he prepares to move to Arizona, he has listed his Pittsburgh home for $2.1 million.
It's gorgeous.
This is a beautiful house. There's a virtual tour online the real estate agent put up. So we thought we would enter the home of one of the NHL's most interesting characters and just have a look-see at how Phil's been living his life. Like, for example, a wine cellar with no wine but 3 lukewarm bottles of Baileys.
Not a big wine guy. And everyone knows you should refrigerate your dairy products.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Oh, the nursery. That is the creepiest nursery. I got an idea. Let's throw a massive teddy bear in the corner, and people will envision their own children in here.
This is a very Blair Witch to me. That was very Blair Witch. This might be even creepier.
This is even weirder.
Can you imagine staying at Phil's house and he says, "Oh, go stay in the mannequin room," and you're what? Oh my God!
staring at your self-portrait as well.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
I do like that.
And this is Phil's closet with all he needs to wear. A couple pairs of sweatpants, a few pullover fleeces, and a fan to ensure they're always fresh.
Yeah, you want to dry those off after a workout. And this is Phil's media room. 1 chair in front of a giant projector screen, and I'm in favor of this. I think you are too.
I am.
I love this.
Just the 3 of us, me, myself, and I.
I think it's fantastic.
Great taste in movies. As you can see, he has a personally signed Mariah Carey glitter poster. And if you haven't seen Glitter, neither have I.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
You know what? We can't make fun of things we haven't seen. I haven't seen the movie. Perhaps it is better than we think.
Probably not.
No.
But we still should see it for ourselves to judge.
The fact, though, he was probably given it as a gift. It was probably a gag gift. The fact that he hung it in his home, though, says a lot about Phil and makes me want to be friends with him.
And more than that, can I just say that I have well, Hound Dog says it got 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. That means
so it
probably not so
is
good.
Bad.
But I sincerely believe that all those pictures, this entire virtual tour, is Phil Kessel playing a joke on us.
Come on.
I sincerely believe that Phil knew that the public would know that he was selling his house. We'd all find it.
Lap it up,
right? And that we would make fun of whatever he had in his house. So we left it all deliberately spare like that.
Staged.
The bear. He staged it in a hilarious way. So bravo, Phil. You got us. When we come back, you saw how excited Steve Ballmer was, didn't you? It wasn't because of Kawhi. It was because of the Jannies, and they are next.
Jenny time, Reds and Brewers. Tyler Saladino at the dish. He bunts it into foul territory. Connor Sims, what an effort. He's a pitcher. He's an athlete. Dives and makes the catch. Very nice. Very nice.
Smashed into the turf, too. Orioles D-backs, Jonathan VR. Fly to shallow left, Tim LaCastro. That's a legit. He looks like a young Mike Johnson.
Handsome. Rockies and Nationals. Trey Turner ground ball to third. Nolan Arenado fields it, juggles it, recovers it, and makes a very strong throw for the out. Hand-eye, concentration. Another stellar play by Arenado.
Phillies Tigers, Jordan Zimmerman tries to field the bunt and makes a complete mess of it. Here it is. He slipped.
Oh, the keister does touch. That's the final right there. Padres and Mets, Noah Syndergaard snares
man.
the Eric Hosmer liner back to the mound, doubles up the runner at first. That's a heads up, bang, bang, double play.
Wow, really nice. How about the Royals and Braves? Ryan Dozier. Dozier leading off first. Jorge Soler, liner to third, caught by Josh Donaldson. Donaldson from his knees doubles up Dozier. Great play by Donaldson. He did the juggle, pumped a bit, still got him. Sorry, Dozier.
Marlins and White Sox. Chicago's down 2. Jose Abreu with a man on. He's looking to tie the game with a shot to deep left center. Cesar Puello making the catch at the wall. Puello. Very nice.
And now, this day in Jay and Jen history.
Jay, the New Orleans Hornets beat the Jazz Monday to earn their first win of this season.
I know, Jen. I did the highlights.
I know you did.
The same can't be said for the Bulls, and boy, the Bulls, the glory days really are over now. They fell to the Suns. It's official, because the last few years have been great.
This has been This Day in Jay and Jen history.
Smart ass in the beginning and still a smart ass.
It's working for me.
It's so good. I love my little tight 90s necklace that I was wearing right tight on the throat. CFL news for you. The Edmonton Eskimos placed running back CJ Gable on the one-game injured list, meaning he's going to miss Thursday's clash against the Toronto Argonauts. Gable, the CFL's second leading rusher with 87 carries for 448 yards, will miss his first game of the season and will be replaced by second-year back Shaq Cooper. UFC 240 goes this Saturday from E-Town. Preliminary fights start at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN, and that will be followed by the main card. You can get it on pay-per-view beginning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific time.
Josh Norman made headlines earlier this month when he was recorded jumping over bulls at the running of the bulls in Spain. His head coach, Jay Gruden, was asked about the incident at a news conference Wednesday, and he used the opportunity to take a shot at his star cornerback.
Josh Norman jumped over a bull. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I knew the bull wouldn't hit him. He avoids contact. No. Just kidding, Josh, just kidding.
Is he, though?
Not really.
Is he really?
He's kind of been sitting on that one for a while.
He really wanted to stick it to Norman.
Norman tied for 128th in total tackles last season with 64.
Here's the thing. He's not the hardest hitter in the league or anything, but Deion Sanders, they always said he avoided contact, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. Maybe the best ever at the position.
There you go.
So if he played that way, then Josh Norman can do it as well. And honestly, leaping over bulls, the guy's tough. Come on. That's crazy that he was doing that.
Just didn't think it through.
Yeah, he's not. That could be it too. Hey, it's time for producer Tim's favorite segment in the show, the World Sports Report.
What a weekend it was.
Was it that good of a weekend?
More holiday footage for Dan O'Toole here?
Yeah, this is where Dan and I will be a year from now, Tokyo 2020, and hopefully we also get to do some backwards chair racing. Oh, it didn't work out for that guy. Good thing you got to. That's why you got to wear the helmet.
I was gonna say helmets mandatory.
That's the World Sports Report, and I don't know. Why wouldn't they just go forward? I mean, I feel it would be more exciting for them and for the spectators, too.
Probably because it's easier to go forward. They're trying to make it more difficult.
I just want some speed involved in the chair racing.
Wait till you...
We could do that here in this expansive studio space.
These are the dog days of summer.
Well, and we share this studio with Gino. And Gino, he ain't working in the summer.
No.
Lots of room over on that side of the studio.
There's a lot of unused real estate around here until October.
Yeah.
Y'all know what time it is. This man covers so good. He been having whole cell phone service. Man, Vermeer, Jalen Ramsey. I know what it is. Work man, get up here.
star corner Jalen Ramsey arriving at camp in a Brinks truck with his own hype man. Seemed like a lot of work for not a lot of laughs. Unlike the time my wife had a child. My wife! And Dan hosted the show with a series of guest stars, including Jennifer, who had the best arrival of them all.
Jennifer Hedger!
Yes!
Hey, the Jay and Dan podcast. Producer Tim is several weeks behind. Don't be like him. Catch up now on the iHeartRadio app. My wife, can we hear that My Wife drop again, Mike? Do you have that? My wife listened today to our latest episode with Peter Schrager, and she said it's one of the greatest ever. Peter is so funny. You'll want to check it out. Again, iHeartRadio app or wherever you get podcasts. And that leads us to the Tim Hortons drive. Oh, no, not the drive-through. The highlight of the night.
Oh. The worst.
Royals Braves. I blew it. Brian Dozier leading off first. Look at Josh Donaldson. Snags the liner for 1 out. Throws to first to get Dozier. And that's the highlight of the night. So I blew it. I called it the Tim Hortons drive-through.
Yes, you did.
But other than that, Hedge, it looks like, according to Beth and Francesco.
No, it's under protest because I know in that Reds Brewers pack, Yasiel Puig, I said on Tuesday, back to Tuesday, he shaved his mustache, and it was on Wednesday.
That's really very honest of you.
I was sure that was going to come up, and it didn't. And I feel like they're trying to be easy on me.
They're trying to be nice to you because you're the special guest star.
I can take it. I do find it difficult, though, at the last minute to try and remember what day it is.
I am so with you. Plus, is maybe some of you don't realize this, we shoot the show at midnight, and then a lot of you see it in the morning on the next day, but I guess that technically is the same day. I don't know what I'm saying.
No.
Come on!